back to some professional StarCraft 2, the ESL SC2 Cup Finals. But wait, it looks a little bit different than usual, and that's because we're looking through the gargantuan eyes of the player who has won the most ESL Cup so far. I'm talking about Big Gabe. He streamed the entire finals against MaxPax, though, since he's a professional gamer and less of a professional streamer, he did mute all of his sound on the stream for game one. So, just spoilers, he won with a quick 2-base Raven tank push. It was well executed. Def Marine comes through. But on the other side, not pictured, ever, MaxPax. So, it is a best of 5, the ESL SC2 Cup. We're watching Big Gabe stream, twitch.tv/HeroMarine. Most of you already know that. Who, at least for my sake, I feel a little better that when he's playing in relatively high-profile tournaments, he focuses up, no webcam, no mic. He says maybe later. I think he does for the NA Cup, which a little insulting, but fair. But here we are. Him and MaxPax. MaxPax is pretty close second. HeroMarine has won like 54, 5. So whatever he's doing in the ESL Cup Finals is the way it's done. As it's the Big Gabe Weekly. And even though obviously the quality is going to be a little lower, I want to give this a shot. Let me know what you think. Try to let it, give yourself a little time to adjust to it, because it's always an adjustment. But I'm going to do my best to commentate, and hopefully Big Gabe doesn't watch this and, one, get upset because I'm watching his stream VOD, which everyone should do and can do. And also, too, because I'm misrepresenting his strategies. I don't know who wins. I just know Big Gabe starts out 1-0. Ancient Cistern. I'll also do my best to kind of more of a guide in the early game, because obviously we can only see one side of it. A few important timings. One, the first gateway unit, assuming they didn't proxy, the first gateway unit after the Cybercore comes in, right around that 3-minute mark. It depends on chrono boost and exact details, but so far, a Marine first and then a reactor, which means there should be at least, oh my god. Okay, don't try this at home. Never mind. Don't do this. Third CC. An incredibly greedy play. Zealot, too. This is not great here for HeroMarine. No scout, 3CC. This is so Terran. But MaxPax brings a Zealot across. That Zealot didn't come in I think he built that. Well, there may be a gateway on the map. I'm not 100% on it. We'll see if Big Gabe goes for it. He's going to finish the command center. Targets down the Zealot.
Not enough minerals.
He's playing with, I believe, I don't know the exact graphic settings, but he definitely has reduced violence. Which means that the animations and such of units dying happen very quick without too much drama. So that way you can kind of focus on the important things as opposed to the spectacle of murdering your opponent. Which, you know, disappointing for us, but makes sense when you're trying to get as much information as quickly as possible. It's going to be 2 rags behind. There's the threat of a Stargate here. So far, Big Gabe mostly worried about the Adepts, of course, but with multiple Adepts this early, 3 Adepts here, gets him on the high ground. Micro's back to 1 Marine, looking for one of the Adepts. And overall, this is not going amazing for MaxPax. It's 3CC as well. Here's the thing. If something comes in and kills some workers, 3CC Terran is very hard to contend with. Unless you do critical damage or have been very greedy yourself. As HeroMarine dropping multiple mules. Did you know mules are more efficient on the outer patches? The ones near the edges, especially, well, the close patches, you get them a little bit quicker. Well, HeroMarine does, and he's focusing on that. A little detail that probably most players don't need to worry about, but they are more reliable on those outer patches.
Not enough minerals. Add-on. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Go, go, go!
Not enough.
All right, just a whole bunch of Marines, living up to his name so far.
Not enough minerals.
No turret yet. I'm kind of surprised. MaxPax hasn't shown anything, which is making HeroMarine a little suspicious. Starts a bunker. Could be Blink. Glaves is on the table. Oh, that's a lot of stalkers.
Not enough minerals.
And a War Prism. He brings everything down. No longer worried about Stargate clearing. The boys are pulled. As well they might be in such a scenario. Did he turn the music off, or does he just not have continuous music on? I don't know.
Not enough minerals.
Real gamers need to focus on the sound of units battling.
Research.
Or maybe Italian rap. I don't... Depends on the player a little. Terrans. Okay, can't be distracted.
Not enough minerals.
So dealt with the Blake Stalkers by buffering with SCVs. At least drove him back for now. He knew this was a possibility. More SCVs pulled from the main. MaxPax getting a lot of damage done so far. It really depends. Oh my god, he pulled the boys from the natural, targeting the Stalkers that are already brute. That factory just hanging out there.
Ready for dust off.
None of Ag's done. Yeah, it's just like the music sometimes shows up. No repair. Unfortunate there. Blink Stalkers and the War Prism making a lot of micro possible. HeroMarine counter-targeting. And the Stalkers are not much of a match for Marauders with that stim pack. Of course, once the units get thinned out or damaged too much, they can be picked off. Honestly, quite impressive that he's still alive. And the beauty of the 3cc is at some point it becomes less of a liability, as HeroMarine just lost like 20-something SCVs. And he still has a pretty comfortable number. Oh, blinks his own units into the medevac. Partitioning some Marauders towards the main. The real focus now is on boxing out the Stalkers, and then as soon as possible coming across the map with medevacs. Ideally when you have any upgrades. He knows MaxPax is trying to keep him pinned back, but of course you can't go too far without being thinned out and cold by the Stalkers. I believe +1. Infantry weapons is done. 5 racks completed. 3rd CC gonna land now.
Additional supply.
HeroMarine, it really depends on when MaxPax took a 3rd. HeroMarine hasn't seen outside his part of the base so far. More Marauders. Marauders, even against charge lots, Marauders with concussive shell, not a bad choice. Ooh, he's building a little funnel. I'm gonna go ahead and give the benefit of the doubt to someone like Big Gabe, as opposed to thinking he's looking for observers there. With the little zoom in, it makes the observer look like it's moving, even if it's sieged up or just hanging out. So instead of wasting a scan, he's doing a quick adjustment of the camera in order to try to get the glimmer of the observer, which is I think he trusts himself to spot it in that scenario. Charge lot spotted as well. Concussive clearly done. Bring some units over to the 3rd. The charge lot's in a good spot. A lot of Marauders with the army. The thing is, there weren't quite enough units to comfortably just move in. And he has to micro back. Oh, but the War Prism! Marauders. It's a good, not great fight. It depends on the upgrades. I have no idea what the upgrades are on the charge lots. If the charge lots have like 1-1 here, and there's an Archon, so okay trade.
Not enough.
4th base is on the way, but it's not done, which is very important for Big Gabe. He can keep trading here. He has a decent army for fighting these gateway units. Archons are not that scary at this point, especially while his medevacs still have energy. Armory on the way, so he's expecting this to go a bit longer. And by a bit, I mean at least a couple more minutes. Keeping the options on the table. Did MaxPax just drop a sentry to try to force field? I don't know if he had the sentry in there to just, like, keep it away from the bio, or if that was the actual intent. Didn't quite work out, because one force field doesn't do much unless you're on the ramp, but still kind of a crazy play. Gets away on one side. Widow Mines are going to connect, but splunked out of. MaxPax is holding on all fronts. No Ghost Academy yet for Big Gabe. He agrees that is something that's lacking. Just kind of zoning. Needs to keep vision so that way the charge lock counters don't become such an issue. Medivacs halfway down. Oh, the little jiggle peek there. Doesn't mean what it means in other games, but HeroMarine keeps jiggle peeking for observers.
Transformation system.
And so far he hasn't found any. That doesn't mean they don't exist, but so far HeroMarine trusting himself to spot them. The charge lots predicted. It does feel a little weird these charge lots are coming in at the right time. So there's probably an observer somewhere around there. You can't reliably get rid of all of them. Alright. But still 150 supply. Despite everything, Big Gabe's still at a very comfortable supply. Has plenty of SCVs. He's building a 4th command center here, though he is building it near the 3rd, not on location. A lot of SC. He's building through the zealots that are killing. I don't know if that's worth it. No idea what the upgrades are for MaxPax, and that's a big part of this. But ghosts are reporting, as you hear. Recall onto the base. Does he just get out? I think he's sticking around to kind of see how much is committed. Clears up the charge lots. Falls back.
This better be good.
He uses grid, by the way. I'm noticing that now. Big Gabe uses grid hotkeys, all just like default grid keys. And that does explain some of the misclicks he was making, because with the removal of Corvid Reactor, the upgrade slots changed on the tech lab for the starport. So, it would be great to have some customizability there. Stormgate looking at you. There you go. As he's been misclicking upgrades a little bit since a couple of them were changed. Not a huge deal. It's not like a move is changed, but oh, the storms. Ghost back at home. EMP point blank. A whole lot of medevacs at the front, but the charge lots. This becomes such an this little bit of attention. APM attention per minute being dragged away by just a couple charge lots. It's not looking good, as MaxPax has held on to his bases strongly. The problem now is HeroMarine is not putting any pressure on the map. He has nothing out there to really cause MaxPax to look away from his army or setting up his attack. And you know, he's right out there. He's out there. HeroMarine knows MaxPax, I'm sure, is waiting with at least a big chunk, if not his main army, on top of one of these ramps.
Additional supply depots required.
Alright, charge lot spotted. Where is it? Surprised no scan. Brings out some reinforcements. It's on the left flank. Going for the 4th. EMPs. Doesn't quite land them. Adds another starport while trying to engage with a storm.
Not enough energy.
Widowmine's trying to get something. Medevacs are nearly out of energy. This is, Big Gabe is trying to pretend like he has more supply. I mean, he's trying to pretend he's in a better position than he is, which is an important part of ending up in that better position as Terran. You really want to look like you're picking a fight, so that way the Protoss maybe makes a mistake and is on defense.
Add-on complete.
Alright, some of the SCVs pulled to repair the Vikings. As he sends a drop in. Splits off one. So this is where the tide can turn. This double drop at the back, drop at the 3rd. There's a lot of supply committed. The main army is headed for the 4th. MaxPax doesn't have the recall now. So HeroMarine committing 3 medevacs may still be enough to make the difference. Still, no. I wish I knew what those upgrades were.
Ready to plunder.
Not enough energy.
Viking production continues. He doesn't even have alerts on, which is kind of crazy. I guess he doesn't want to accidentally misclick them. The alerts on the left side of the screen, many pro players will turn that off. I personally like them, but I struggle to remember things sometimes.
Mineral field depleted.
3.
Not enough minerals.
The Vikings in a pretty good spot here. The choke point. Wait a second.
Field depleted.
MaxPax, no disruptors. No storms with this. And now Big Gabe is chasing.
Our SCVs are under attack. Not enough
Whole lot of
minerals.
ghosts being added on.
Not enough
Small charge
minerals.
lock counter. Still not able to maintain that 200 supply. Wow, what a play.
Ready to plunder.
The little Viking micro there.
Vespene gas
Coming through.
SCVs pulled to repair. Very
Not enough
tenuous
minerals.
right now for Big Gabe, but he's still here and he
Not
still has a
enough
very
minerals.
strong army.
Not
He
enough
has now the
minerals.
Terran army that, as a
Not
Protoss,
enough
you have to be
minerals.
very careful about.
Not enough
There's
minerals.
ghosts and Vikings. Okay, he's got all the pieces to ruin your splash damage. And there's no disruptors. At least disruptors have not shown up yet, so. Without the disruptors, well,
Base
that's
is
when
under
things would get
attack.
dicey, especially for this ground army.
Upgrade.
Oh, he's looking away, the Viking. Oh. Well, things are dicey. MaxPax has taken that front base. Vikings looking for an opportunity. This storm's EMP. Disruptor shots not finding much. Bioarmy on the left flank. Charge lot slicing through the economy simultaneously. Holding the line at the rocks as he goes for the base, but Disruptor slams home. And that's enough for HeroMarine to just tap it out. He looks, I needed to see. He wanted to see how many bases there were. That's all he needed to know. I need to pause on that quarter second when he looks at the replay. Wow, the Disruptor.
Can't hold them alone.
Oh my god. There's not even enough frames. Okay, so there was the base to the north, and that's it. Yeah. He's wondering exactly how much he was dealing with. Okay. Do-do-do. Checking the build. And to the next map.
Not enough minerals.
What's going on?
Not enough minerals.
I wonder if he saw anything. Because MaxPax's build
Not enough minerals.
looked like a Stargate build. Right up until no Stargate unit showed up for a while.
Not enough minerals.
Because rarely do you go triple adept into Blink. That's
Not
like
enough
intentionally faking them
Not
out.
enough minerals.
The triple adept usually combines with Oracle, and if you make any mistakes with the Marines, they can just dive on your Marines with
Not
the adept
enough
Oracle.
minerals.
It's rare. It's
Not enough
rarer.
minerals.
More rare. Rarelier.
Additional supply depots required.
Shout out to all those people following HeroMarine
Not enough minerals.
at whatever this was.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
God. Wow. Those textures look so bad. I mean, so,
SCV ready.
efficient. God. Interesting. He has the unit models, I believe, at high, but the textures on the buildings are so terrible.
Bandit. Big jump.
I guess that's another way to distinguish between units and buildings easily. Not that that seems like something that's super important, but at some point... Wait, why did he take damage on the CV? The probe? Wait, what? Am I dumb? Oh, that was the SCV that built the command center. I mean, the barrack. Come on, pay attention. They're only watching one side. Also, say, I mean, he's sitting at...
It's your dime.
Not enough.
He's sitting at 220 FPS while streaming. So, I am envious. Then again, I frame cap at 144, so I wouldn't...
Not enough minerals. Insufficient.
Though rarely do I
gas.
see that 144 at my typical graphic settings. I'm just...
Insufficient.
I'm like, honestly, in the late game, lucky to see 60. But it's close enough, I think, that it looks good.
SCV ready here.
What's he doing? Why is he looking at it like that?
What's going?
I mean, it's he doesn't want
Additional
to
supply
get
depots.
caught on the high ground by something like an adept. Stalker first. It was just weird how he was maneuvering around the Nexus. Oh, coming back in? Really? Ah!
SCV ready.
Well, that Stalker's still at home, but in a... So we're doing the Zealot again.
Add-on complete.
I see. This is one of those things that kind of fades in and out.
Not
SCV ready.
I think partially because HeroMarine has a tendency to not scout, is why the Zealot can be strong. Oh my god, he gets the pro. So sometimes it shows up, but this time, by the way, adaptation, he built the command center on the high ground, kind of anticipating this scenario. Oh, he found a Stargate!
God, what's it?
command center.
Huh.
Insufficient. Not enough.
Wow,
minerals. Not enough.
I don't know, that was a Stargate, right? Or was it a gateway? He found something, a gate of some flavor.
Not enough.
He's building a Cyclone, which would be the response to either thing.
Fear the Reaper. Death from above. Where's screw?
Not enough minerals.
At least I'm assuming that's a Cyclone.
Be ready.
Ready for dust.
Medevac done. Whoa!
What you want?
Oh, that's gonna get weird. Nope, I was wrong. That may have just been a gateway. And also, he's right. This tank has a lot. Like, it's all on this tank right now. He's feigning like he has an army defending. Oh my god. The SCVs! Well, that was... Now it gets even more confusing.
Is under
That
attack.
was greedy from Big
Add-on.
Gabe here. But guess what? It's still pretty greedy from MaxPax to have all his units across the map. There's a Hellion with this! The probes! Oh my. There was a recall of just Stalkers here. Meanwhile, going for... I don't know, losing that tank really hurt. He was very greedy with the tank. And it may cost him.
SCV ready.
Having 2 tanks right now would be the natural secured. Whereas the recall comes out and it's still very good damage. But the fact is, HeroMarine has not been mining from his natural at all because of this. So,
Insufficient Vespine gas.
yeah,
Not
it was a
enough
gateway.
energy.
Ready.
Not a Stargate. Yeah, I was wondering how he could afford a Stargate and have a Zealot and a Stalker and it expand. That wouldn't have been very realistic. He probably delayed the second gas. MaxPax, that is.
Go ahead.
Not enough minerals.
All right,
Additional
Marines.
supply depots
Unstimmed,
required.
uncombat. No, that's... Oh my...
Additional supply depots
Blink.
required.
Okay, Blink is done. So,
Insufficient
the Blink was
Vespine
revealed,
gas.
but also the Medevac super dead.
Not enough minerals.
He kept notifications on during a tournament.
Ready.
Why not? Like, he's not a caster. He has no obligation to stream this.
Armed and ready.
He likes his stream.
In the rear.
Okay, and if he can win while also streaming, like, that's
Insufficient.
double dipping right there.
Ready.
I mean, even losing is still quite entertaining. Otherwise, how will other people make content with his higher skilled play? Explain.
SCV ready. Gangway coming through.
All right, well, honestly, I think this has just been a greedy game from Big Gabe here, and it may cost him because he,
Not
that
enough
first tank,
energy.
the Medevac, he had very good position, but a little bit too committed and ended up losing both of them, and now he's very much pinned back.
Baby. I can't build here. Gangway coming through.
Not enough
MaxPax
add-on.
may have a third on the triangle location below the main, but
Not enough minerals.
there is no reactor for Medevacs here. This is
Not
really
enough minerals.
not ideal.
Not enough minerals.
So we'll see. Does he pull the boys and go super all in?
Not enough minerals.
Is he just going to try to fight it out? Because he knows Blink
Not
is still a
enough
threat.
minerals.
So here's the thing as well. Oh, there's something on the minimap near that third. It doesn't really matter whether he has a third, MaxPax. I think the response is the same. You're going to get 2 Medevacs, you're going to move out with those 2 Medevacs. There's really no other options here.
Research complete.
So,
Add-on unacceptable.
Templar
minerals.
Archive spotted. Switch over to a reactor. Oh, loses the Raven, though. As the
Not
hallucinated
research
Phoenix provides high
complete.
ground.
Oh, this better be good. Let's have a blast.
Still a Raven on the other side of the map that could be brought into the fight. So his two medevacs are building. He's pushing away these units. I don't know if he has concussive
Not
yet.
enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Does not, but those stalkers actually caught out here. The auto turret distracting
Mineral field
MaxPax during all
depleted.
this.
Oh, it's on.
Add-on complete.
Yep, gets the proxy gate. And the pylon. And this is a strong attack now. He killed
Additional
enough
supply
stalkers
depots. Not
that
mineral field.
with
Not enough.
the triple threat combat shield, stim,
Not enough.
and
Research.
+1, which I believe just completed.
Upgrade.
SCV ready.
Of course, including the siege tanks. This has a real shot here.
Additional supply depots.
Ready for dust off.
MaxPax didn't have quite the economy he hoped for. Remember that HeroMarine did a lot of damage early
Depleted.
as well. And MaxPax may have overstayed his welcome on the other side of the map. So, there's also a small chance he had that other base. HeroMarine has been quite adamant that this is the only third.
Not enough.
Oh, we'll
minerals.
see.
Additional supply depots required.
Some long distance might. Yeah, it's not done. It was not built before. Oh, War Prism saves the Templar for now. Obviously, Storm is on the way, but HeroMarine is hitting before it's complete. Some charge lines being warped in. The Marines and Marauders still in a nice spot. Great spread. Can't believe it's not butter.
Minerals. Additional supply depots required.
At this point, now that the Storm and the Templar have been scouted,
Not enough minerals.
even if, like, there shouldn't be a scenario where it really hits. That was about as good as it was gonna get. But there's still a bio army here. Pre-splits, GG. Doesn't even look at the replay. He knows. He knows what he's about. Wow. Yeah, MaxPax did not get too much behind that first attack. Lost too many stalkers, and HeroMarine waited, and he moved out when he finally had those medevacs.
Huh? Ben?
It is a best of 5 here. Yeah, this is the ESL SC2 European Finals, which Big Gabe has won about 50 times out of 160 or so tournaments. Won, not second place. Second place, I think 25 or so. When he gets to the finals, he has a better than 2-in-1 chance of winning. So,
Let's go.
so far, it's 2-to-1.
Supply depots.
It's actually kind of an insane stat. It is truly the Big Gabe Weekly.
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
I'm actually quite impressed by how much he was able to get done, despite losing all those early units. I guess it was worth it. He traded, he came back in with the medevac, got almost nothing, but the fact he kept those stalkers at home kept the pressure off his back. Also, one thing that, even though we're watching his perspective, I think I'm not focusing on enough, is just the mechanical efficiency, all right? The German efficiency. The fact he's building units as they need to be built. He's not queuing them up almost ever. His production cycles are completely, almost completely automatic. He's played so much, and he plays all the time. So that way, when to build units, you don't queue them up. You're just always building that Marauder right on time, that Marine, that SCV.
Command
You'll
center
see him
upgrade
sometimes queue up
complete.
stuff if he knows like a super micro-intensive fight is coming up.
Not enough
But most of the
minerals.
time, he just slips in that production
Not
cycle
enough. Insufficient
while
rescue
everything else
gas.
is going on.
SCV ready.
Hellion Starport drop. This is... Wait,
Not
is he
enough
not going
minerals.
for it? Is he looking for somewhere to put his starport?
SCV ready.
He was going north. And then he decided, you know what? No.
Roger.
Let's get creative.
Go ahead.
Additional supply depots required.
Right on Cyril Rayner. Rayner plays. Not too commonly. Cyril and Maru are notoriously absent from the weekly tournaments. One, because you don't need them to qualify for anything. And two, since they are both world champion contenders. I mean, so are a lot of the players who play in the weekly tournaments. But there's also the thought process of literally not giving your potential opponents any more information than they could possibly get.
Not enough minerals.
Including
Not enough
their
minerals.
opposite. Like, there is no one... Right now, I'd say the World Championship favorite is Cyril.
Not enough minerals.
Second is Maru, but definitely second. And then I'd put Rainer, Beyond, and Hero. Not HeroMarine, unfortunately, but Rainer, Beyond, and Hero. Significantly behind Maru, but still the next three. Probably in that order. A lot of it depends on the groups and
Center
such, but...
upgrade complete.
Unfortunately, HeroMarine is in a group with Beyond, Bunny, and Maru. And while HeroMarine's TVT is really good,
Not enough minerals.
Beyond, Bunny, and Maru. So...
Not enough minerals.
And Lambo. But HeroMarine has not lost a TVZ on the ladder this season, as at least on his main account, so... Hellions get in. He's 49-0. We checked before checking this series. Not that the ladder is a huge indicator, but Lambo is definitely the odd Zerg out. It'd be quite a story if Lambo makes it through. But here's the thing. Lambo only has to train for one matchup, whereas I'm sure the Terrans are training for TVT. So there is a very real chance that Lambo comes out with, like, a completely, maybe not new, but
Not enough minerals.
different take
Additional supply
on Zerg
depots
versus
required.
Terran. Though, I'd put HeroMarine, Maru, and Beyond in 3 different categories of Terran. So that's the hard part, too. Is he has to
Not
prepare
enough
for
minerals.
Maru,
Not
who's
enough
just, like,
minerals.
dominant in every way. Beyond, who will overwhelm you. And then HeroMarine, who has the sharpest timings of pretty much
Not
any
enough
Terran.
minerals.
Like, and then Bunny is also there, but I don't have any sort of exciting attributes for him, so. Bunny's TVT is not a put. Anyways, it's gonna be a tough group for Big Gabe. I'm rooting
Not
for him,
enough
though.
minerals.
Well, speaking of, did the Hellions... Honestly, I was so caught up in my commentaries there
Add-on
that the Hellions didn't get too much.
Base
And now
is
he's on the
under
back
attack.
foot against the War Prism drop. I don't think these guys have Blink. They may.
Not enough minerals.
But Big Gabe has been pinned back in his base before and moved out and just taken the game from there. MaxPax does have a tendency to maybe overstay as well. What is this? What is he doing here?
Our SCVs
A depot
are under
maze.
attack.
Ah, the
Our SCVs
DTs!
are under attack.
Completely unexpected. Oh. Oh, he's like, no, back to the tech lab. Oh, this is bad. Yeah.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Well, yep. Now we get to see. We've all been here. He salvages the bunker? Okay. Everyone's had this moment.
Research.
This is a very unfortunate time to have said moment,
Big job, huh?
but here we are. He stims the Marines as they come out. Did he just minimap scan? Wow.
Our
A bold
SCVs
move in
are
this
not
scenario.
enough minerals. Upgrade complete.
Drops a
Not enough
DT, but it
minerals.
dies to the other tank that MaxPax didn't quite spot.
Not enough minerals.
The rough part here
Not
is
enough
is
minerals.
Gabe had to build a Raven. The big part of being able to move out and counterattack is
Not enough
Metavax.
minerals.
And
Not
what
enough
MaxPax has done
minerals.
is not only a bunch of economic damage, but he's delayed the Metavax by a significant amount. By a couple
Not
minutes
enough
even.
minerals.
Especially since he's just building the reactor now, so.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Kaboom, baby!
Not enough minerals.
Sorry, I'm allergic to cheesy Protoss. It's a real condition.
Add-on complete.
Just send it.
Not enough minerals. Research.
Oh, it's on.
Well, here we are. Is combat shield finishing up? Yep, I think in a moment.
Research.
He is very wary. Thinking about an anti-armor missile. Oh, that Raven is very important.
Field depleted.
There very well could be Colossi, Disruptors. Raven not bad against Archons either. Scans
Not
forward.
enough minerals.
The implication is the other base is
Our
taken.
SCVs are under
Are we all in? Oh, but the Colossi!
attack. Is under attack.
He's not using... Ooh, that hurts. That one's bad.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah, Raven doesn't get anything off. No interference matrices. A lot of Marauders, but oh, this is kind of falling apart. We'll see if the Marauders can make the difference. Marines behind.
Dust off.
A lot of damage already on the Marauders.
This better be good. It's go time.
Still
Mineral field
in an
depleted.
okay supply
Go, go.
for HeroMarine, but yeah, that's not good. If MaxPax has an observer anywhere close, that's going to be even more difficult. This is gambling with these drops here. He's really just trying to get something done. But
Upgrade. Not enough minerals.
Waiting on you.
a bit of a desperation, as well, DT is pretty much everywhere right now. Pulls back, not too much anti-air. Oh, gets into the medevacs. Boost was off cooldown a moment later. Oh, siege tanks, you know, sieging. There's just enough charge lots, especially with battery overcharge. Oh wait, yeah, well there you
Base.
go. Sees there's no fourth. That's enough for him. Game 5, here we go. Altitude.
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
The DTs were,
Not enough.
they came out of
minerals.
nowhere, as DTs usually do, but clearly
Not
no
enough
preparation,
minerals.
just did not enter in. It happens. A big commitment with the starport on the map. I think a pretty smart move from MaxPax as well. Because when you proxy a starport, it's unlikely you're just going to build a Raven off of it.
Additional
I don't know how much of that
supply
factored in, but it lined up well for him. And we're all tied up.
Not enough minerals.
What's going on?
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
The units for... If you use a unit for what it's made for, is it really cheese? Yes. Cheese, by my definition, which is the only important definition, is something that becomes significantly less powerful if your opponent has time to prepare for it or knows it's coming, which usually hand in hand. Whereas many all-ins can be considered cheese. Not all, though. Like, for example, a 2-base tank timing is not really a cheese, even though it can be all-in, especially if you go 5 racks, because you still have a very real chance of doing critical damage, even if your opponent knows it's coming from the start. Whereas, if your opponent knows that Dark Templar are coming a minute beforehand and saves up 2 scans, the DTs don't kill 15 SCVs. They don't force you to completely interrupt all your production. They don't
Not enough minerals.
delete a couple bunkers. They don't delay a third. They don't keep you pinned back in your... Like, if you're able to get either a Raven, save up scans, both. Of course, at the same time, you don't want to overcommit, but the Dark Templar being known is probably a great example of what is definitely a cheese.
Grim Reaper has a brother.
Insufficient Vespene gas. Not enough minerals. Not enough.
We don't mind less cheesing, because no matter how hard you try or how well you micro, there is always a chance. We've even seen the best Protoss go the wrong way for a split second in those Widow Mines. Well, another highlight.
SCV ready.
Especially, it is hard to call something that's relatively cheap. I mean, in literal cost, and not in strategy. Ooh, fancy micro there. Like, the Widow Mine is barely more costly than a Baneling, so just knowing a Widow Mine's coming does not significantly reduce the effectiveness.
Not enough minerals.
Though it certainly doesn't hurt.
SCV ready.
Oh, that was clever.
Command center.
HeroMarine raised his depots at different times. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but that baited the Adept Shade to go up the ramp instead of off to the side. Not that I think that ended up mattering, because he obviously killed it, but that
Not
can
enough
help
minerals.
mess with the AI there a
Not
bit.
enough minerals.
Already pre-building. These are blink and charge lot defense depot or bunkers. He's not worrying about them coming up the ramp. He's worried about covering it with tanks. And MaxPax really, really loves his Twilight Council. I think every game has been
Additional
Twilight,
supply
SCV ready.
except for this one. So,
Coming through.
yep. Oh, he canceled a
Not
gas
enough.
in order to build. Yeah,
This better
HeroMarine. Thrown a little off. Was expecting maybe the angling towards blink. Ends up, here come the Phoenixes.
SCV ready.
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Phoenix is definitely a strong choice. Of course, you have to keep him alive. But he's gonna get the Raven. Oh.
Systems go. Cyclone ready for
Gets a lock on here, but breaks it. Losing the Raven for almost free.
You want a piece of me, boy?
It feels like every game. We didn't see the first game because, once again, Big Gabe accidentally muted the sound on his stream. Like, all of it. For that game.
Additional supply depots required.
I could have provided my own homegrown sound effects, but...
By the numbers. Big arm. You gonna
Additional supply depots required.
SCV ready.
Unacceptable landing zone.
Bit of a supply block, but the Phoenix is off to a pretty good start. Yeah, what I was saying is almost every game so far has seen Big Gabe kind of pinned back on two bases and trying to figure out a time. And MaxPax has been doing a very good job of keeping the pressure on. Of course, a little overcommitted on Royal Blood and ended up getting counterattacked with the tank timing in game one.
Minerals.
But overall, it's been HeroMarine scrambling to put fires out in his base, as opposed to being able to get much done on MaxPax's side of the map. Even last game when he went for the proxy starport Hellion drop, ended up with the DTs turning the tables. So.
Additional supply depots required.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about DTs this game, at least not yet. As that is, whoa, is that 2 Stargates or just one set of Chrono Boosts? Like,
Additional supply.
that is like
Not enough
7
minerals.
Phoenixes. Wow. MaxPax just, ever since that hero game, okay?
Additional supply depots required.
That is a huge commitment.
Additional
HeroMarine
supply
probably, he's banking on very little ground
supply
army right
depots
now.
required.
An armory starts super early here. Not for upgrades. I think this is for Widow Mines to be even more effective.
This better be SCV
That's
ready.
a lot of Phoenixes. He's still building them.
Research complete.
This
A
better
Widow Mine drops heading out. Well, it's gonna come down to the mines. There's an observer clearly there. I mean, more clearly now that we see it.
armed and ready.
He bumps it into the turret. Smartly done, since it clearly wasn't being microed.
Somebody, get me out of this mess.
Oh, the Phoenix is cutting off reinforcements. Accidentally targeting the rock tower
Not
there.
enough minerals.
Big Gabe setting up for the drop in the main. A Colossus spotted. The Widow Mine drop is the key part of all this. The Widow Mine drop needs to do damage. Oh, the tank was lifted.
SCV ready.
Unloads one mine. Who knows how well it went, but it appears MaxPax is not microing here. More Widow Mines being burrowed.
Not enough minerals.
Oh my. I don't know if there's an observer with the army, but the Widow Mines are still intact. He sets up that effect doesn't have much HP, but HeroMarine is leaning on the mines to
Not
keep him
enough
going.
minerals.
I think he just checked the... I was too slow to see it, but he just checked the kill count. They got something. The fact that he still exists is very important.
Forces are under attack. Not enough energy.
And another mine drop.
Not enough. Your forces are
He's
under
gonna go
attack.
for all of them. And MaxPax is slow.
Ready.
Oh! Well, he got some. It could have been worse for MaxPax. HeroMarine can't be too unhappy with that.
Acceptable landing.
Ready for dust off.
And most importantly, he's the one
Ready for dust
keeping
off.
his opponent back right now.
Your forces are under attack.
SCV ready.
All right,
Research.
clearing out the spotting pylons.
Armed and ready. It's go time.
Oh, the Widow Mine!
It's about to get heavy.
There's no actual anti-air here. Widow Mine does soften up many of the Phoenixes, though.
Is under attack.
You gotta be very careful about where your army's maneuvering now. You don't want to chase all the Phoenixes into the main,
Complete.
but at the same time, you can't just let them have the run of the place. Just picking up all the Marines here. Is he? Okay, Marauders do not have... Tip me over! And,
Not enough minerals.
Marauders not known for their anti-air capabilities, unfortunately. As MaxPax isolated and killed, just
Not enough.
amputate. Oh, but the Widow Mine, don't let the mine hit you on the way out. Widow Mine gets another hit as MaxPax rotates back. Did he just save an SCV? Big Gabe trapped his SCV with the NG Bay production. I saw that. All right, we all do it, but then he saved it with a medevac, which is more effort than I ever go to. I don't.
Not enough minerals.
Where's the scan? Where's the scan? He's trying to figure out where the army generally is so we can scan it, but like, there's no reason to be scanning the middle of the map, but
Mineral field.
it's still very
Your
stressful here.
forces are under attack.
You want a piece of me, boy?
He's thinking about it. Marauders leading the charge slightly.
Watch your step.
Sets up a Marine drop.
Now.
Insufficient.
And this is where HeroMarine shines. He's got the supply. This is kind of his wheelhouse right now. We're at 170 to 80 supply. It's 3-ish bases. He's got all the production. He's got M&M and M&M and maybe some
Additional
Vikings.
supply depots.
So,
Not enough minerals.
divide and conquer.
Additional supply depots.
That's the plan.
Upgrade.
There's not much
enough
back here.
minerals.
The Marines are going to drop out. Try to draw some attention away. Spots the Templar archives as well. Targets the shield battery. The Zealots are going to be easy enough to deal with it as well. There's clearly, well, very likely to be a base up near the high ground here. Gonna go straight for it. The Phoenix is now out of position. MaxPax knows this is a possibility, but that means the Vikings are mostly uncontested. Huge damage on each volley, and just the base is gone. Just like that, that Nexus. The Marauders pound it down.
Not enough minerals.
And now HeroMarine's the one with 4 bases. The Phoenixes are probably coming back, but the target fire on the Vikings, microing back, a bunch of Archons, and now with the Phoenixes there, it gets a little dicier. Trying to target fire. Oh, there's a lot of great targets for those Vikings. Ooh, knocking down all the Phoenixes, which have been such a pain. Oh my god, he's got a Scandinavia of Vikings over here. There's clearly 1 or 2 observers over the army. Not that that's particularly relevant right now. Just helps MaxPax. Archon hits. His army has been whittled down to nearly Marauder only. Whatever Marines were jammed in the middle of it and didn't die to Colossi, but
Upgrade complete.
gonna spend some time healing. Sends out the drops using the drop command, so only the units with units, only the medevacs with units in it. If you press D by default, or whatever the drop key is for medevacs for grid, it'll only send things that can do drops, which is medevacs with units in them. So that's how HeroMarine just split those off so quick.
Mineral field.
And snipe the base. Ghost out.
Not enough minerals.
Picks up to the main. There's very limited anti-air here. Just the Stalkers. But he flies right into a big group of them, so less than ideal. Oh, that was a big, that was a misstep or two. He was very confident, for unknown reasons, that he could get into the main there safely. He just threw 30 supply or so away. Though he did get the 4th, so that's something. That definitely puts a few points back on the board, though, for MaxPax.
Out with it. We could use some help here.
Not enough.
Are probes fighting? Okay.
Not enough minerals.
Quite a scary army here.
Mineral field.
No disruptors on the field. This game's shaping up to be the most dramatic one, as neither has a distinct advantage.
Ready for dust off.
The last longer game was HeroMarine kind of on the back foot ever since the Blinkstalkers came in. But this time, HeroMarine has had an okay economy. He's knocked down a few bases. He's whittled down the probe count. So I don't think MaxPax has any sort of significant banker advantage, unless Big Gabe walks right into the middle of the map, where already disruptors are waiting, potentially. The Chew Toy factory there. Warp Prism towards the main, but he's got to focus on the main army here. Where are the EMPs? There's a Warp Prism in the main, and that could undo everything. Also the charge lots here. Big Gabe, this is it. Do or die time. Got to deal with the charge lots in the main, and also the army at the front. Vikings, not Widowmine. Sorry, Disruptor. Similar. Disruptor finds a connection, but at the same time the Vikings are chasing down the Colossi. There's very limited anti-air aside from these Arcom. Oh my god, he got it. Okay. That Disruptor looked really dangerous right up until it just was deleted. The Vikings will clear up the Warp Prism, and Big Gabe maintains 160 supply. That Disruptor. Honestly, I could have seen him. That was a GG Ruptor right there. Oh my. If that had hit, that would have been like 4 goes, 7 Mirage, and that's a Big Gabe rage quit. Another Ruptor. But he got it. That's what's important. And here we are, maxed out nearly again. The Vikings, mostly deadweight supply. EMPs. Micro's back. Still has that watchtower for extra vision. And the EMPs have softened up a lot of the army. And now it has to wander all the way around while the Stim Marauders are heading towards the front. Disruptors dodged away. Another shot. Huge charge lock counter, but reinforcements are there. Vikings on deck. I'll expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. More EMPs. That one hit a chunk. Charge lots cleaned up. Reinforcements looking good. Supply still very high for Big Gabe. A scan, watching for... Well, mostly... There's only one shot. One opportunity. The rest... Okay, they're cooling down. Oh, he leans into it. Another shot. Clips a few Marines. Another one. One Viking. But the Bio Army on the left flank. Another one. And he's going straight forward to MaxPax. Well, is struggling. He's trying to figure out exactly where to commit his forces. Both of them, really. But the Bio Army with no disruptors and support can easily deal with this. He doesn't have any scans. He tries to scan. Thankfully for him, there are no disruptors on the high ground. The disruptors fall at the third. Oh, still 200 supply for Big Gabe as he deletes another Nexus. MaxPax, it just can't win a fight. Big Gabe keeps... Oh! Well, that was a bit. But MaxPax just keeps not finding the damage. As he drops into the main. Oh, that Disruptor. Okay. MaxPax is trying to win what he can. And that's focusing on the army outside the third. But the drop in the main. A prison of his own design, somewhat. Gotta get to the watchtower. The rock tower. Oh, looking for more. And it's still... He's not out of the woods yet. Oof. But overall, MaxPax has to land a few disruptor hits, which have not been consistent at all here. A few Archons. But the free splits are good. You gotta be careful with your own charge lots as well. More disruptors. The spread is just too good. There's so much Terran. Even Big Gabe's struggling to handle it. He's just keeping his units back here. And that's just too... They're all on cooldown. He can see it. GG! He takes it. He goes through, checks the workers. Big Gabe. Where's my dramatic Terran music?
You gotta win.
Oh my god, that scared me. Don't sound so excited.
Last week. Oh, we did it.
Oh, there.
Here I am again, not naked. think I was playing pretty well at some point.
I think I was playing
I
pretty
nearly
well
didn't
at some
snap that
point.
one disruptor in the
Me
middle.
too.
That was dangerous. Like when he was attacking me with the warp prison in main. I didn't snap that one disruptor. I mean, that was very close.
The one I was talking about. Thankfully, Big Gabe noticed that as well, and now I look somewhat smart.
If
That was
could
the
have been a
GG
throw
Ruptor.
in that regard, because okay, I can't show the graphs anymore. I think the graphs are very
You
much in
know,
my favor.
I feel very
but
vindicated on my
it
commentary.
can be still hard to like close out the game because you know
He's
you're
literally
always on
referencing that
autonomous,
as the
even
throw
if you're,
point.
Like, really far ahead. You can easily throw. Like I threw some Medivacs into his main base against the Stalkers at some point, but like Disrupt is always like super dangerous, so it can get some like it can get dicey for sure. Maybe I should have gone into Ghost faster. Then I could have killed him maybe faster, because I don't want to be playing that kind of game where he makes disruptors and yeah, I can't really
just
kill
generally,
him.
just disruptors.
But I guess in this game I was too far ahead, so I could just do whatever I want to do. So that was nice.
Any more wisdom for us?
Yeah, I
Big
really
Gabe?
needed to snap that disruptor, and it was good, but then I accidentally pulled back too early because I thought it was just gonna go down. Like disruptors are really annoying in that regard. You can easily throw a serious. Now, Liberator transition is not possible. It's too expensive, and it's also
The focus on his camera is really throwing
These
me
maps
off.
are very open as well. I think this map pool is quite bad for Liberators. I'm not sure. Like disruptors are still very powerful, of course. So I don't know. It feels like I get like into more. At least if they don't go Phoenix, that is. If they don't play Phoenix, it feels like I get into a nicer setup more often now. Like a setup where I can get like third base, bio, 2-2, and just kind of pressure my opponent a lot, that kind of stuff. He went for the Phoenix, which was a little bit annoying. I don't really know what to do against the Phoenix. Like in this game, I had a lucky Wintermine drop, because like that was like one trick. I also killed his Observer, so that was good. But like my build in the last game wasn't good enough against Phoenixes. I shouldn't be able to keep the Raven alive against Phoenix, that's a problem. Like in the first game I was able to keep the Raven alive so I can just kill him, but usually I shouldn't really be able to keep the Raven alive. That's a problem. So I don't know, I still need some work to do against the Phoenix play, I think. Because I got kind of lucky here in that regard. Or not lucky, but I had like a really good idea, you know, like going for the Cloaked Wintermines against the Phoenix was actually a really smart play, I think. But it's one of those plays that I can't do again. Like if I play MaxPax again, he might just make a cannon or two, and then he's fine against the Wintermine drop, and then I'm like super far behind because I don't do any damage.
He would play MaxPax later that day. I don't know who won.
Thanks for all the resubs. I'm gonna play the NA Cup, but I'm
it's
gonna.
my turn. It's my turn. Thank you, Big Gabe, for your commentary, your wisdom. Praise be Gabe of hugeness. But a fun series. I liked watching from that perspective. I do wish we could have that perspective on non-potato quality, but I mean, that's the raw experience. Though you didn't get the match with no sound on the stream. So I don't think we'll be doing this on a regular basis, but I think it was fun this time. I hope you enjoyed. Go check out Big Gabe, of course. Twitch.tv/HeroMarine. You guys already know. Thank you for watching. I hope it made your day a little bit better. Good luck. Have fun. See you next time. Stay chill.